Hello everybody, it's Wyvern here with a continuation of my Wurrzag campaign. Um, Obviously not much has changed from last time. Um, I am currently trying to hunt down a bunch of dwarf armies that are kind of running rampant throughout my territory. Um, I'm going to try to head them off at some point there because they are kind of jumping around. I'll try to catch them in the underway, or definitely hoping to catch them in the underway. In the meantime, kind of fortifying everything I can. Um, yeah. Kratoman does already have a garrison of some size. Unfortunately, they do have two armies, so they decide to push through, say here. Then I'm gonna have a rough time intercepting them. Not entirely sure what this Grimbrindle thinks he's gonna do. Yeah, there's not really much he can do in Bitterstone. So it is fortified. So I'll definitely try to head him off, shut him down. And I can finally get Ikrin up to tier 3. There are some ways you can obviously try to rush. Actually, I'm going to move my Gabo Shaman over there as well. To cheapen it. There are obviously ways you can the next turn I'll hold that up. There are ways you could or I could have rushed to tier 3, but I don't really want to do that because I feel that the fortifications and the obedience buildings are kind of important for orcs. Orcs otherwise tend to have a lot of revolts, a lot of issues that way. This is all fine and dandy. I think I have Wa here, which should be sicked on Spitespeak. And I think that's basically it for this turn. Yeah, just gonna end here. I still can't research tech. That's another reason that you could rush to tier 3, just so you can get access to could be a reason to rush to tier 3, just to get access to the Goblin Workshop, which will of course unlock your tech. But honestly, Orc tech is pretty terrible. It doesn't really. They have a whole bunch of. Let's see, and I can invest in this, and then in a pile of shiny stuff. Gotta set this wall loose on Grimbrindle, see if I can intercept him. That would be ideal. The orcs still do control Stone Mine Tower, which is a little unfortunate. If I could confederate them, that would be ideal, but they don't seem to want that. I do want to try to intercept these armies who are kind of roaming around over here. They're just being a pain in the rear. Obviously, I'm not too worried about my fortified settlements. Those will hold out, but all these small settlements without fortifications could be in a bit of trouble. I'm gonna try to zone these guys and catch them. I don't know if Grimbrindle can quite reach Crooked Fang Fort. I think he's just shy of it. I will try to drop some fortifications there and a heap of shine. Well, those aren't quite leveled yet. Actually, I'm gonna scrap these because if Grimbrindle comes there, I'd rather not get screwed over. I'm gonna upgrade the boss's shack over here, and then I'm gonna jump the shaman down below. Actually, sure. For the Baleful Mask, I need to use a hero to perform a settlement against the Greenskin tribes, which there's very few of them left on the map. But I'll probably have to take the shaman and deal with that in a bit. Because Skull Smash is really far away, and so is Crooked Rune's fairly far away as well. So the only convenient ones are these three. And if they get crushed by the dwarves, and, or I confederate them, I'm not going to be able to do that kind of stuff anymore. Other than that, though, yeah, I think that's basically it for this turn. I don't have much else I can do. Spice Peak's under my occupation. I'm just gonna end turn. Gonna see what Grimbrindle decides to do. He's walking. He's raiding. I actually managed to intercept Ungrim's army. Just gonna. I guess we can fight this one. Orcs, like, it's probably one-sided, but in my experience, unless it's like very much skewed for whatever reason in your enemy's favor, it's often better to just auto-resolve the underway battles if you can, because they favor dwarves very heavily. They're probably unless you have that's actually a whole bunch of yeah, they're incredibly favorable to dwarves. Like if you're playing as dwarves, it's unless you're just horribly outnumbered, it's incredibly hard to screw up. Obviously, if you're playing as, there are some of the other factions will have an easier time smoking them out, especially say someone like Vampire Counts, who's also meant for a more frontal engagement. Will have a much easier time. But for even orcs don't do that well in frontal engagement, especially without black orcs, which obviously I don't have at this stage of the game. Their cav isn't the best for frontal engaging either, at least not. So I'm just gonna I'm actually gonna throw the giant with Wurrzag, I think. Yeah, why not? I'm gonna start battle, and rush forward. Basically, there's not much of a plan here. It's basically just to charge straight down. There's obviously practically no room to maneuver in the underway. So that's just kind of what you have to work around. Fortunately, my opponent does not have too much artillery, but if they do bring a lot of artillery, say grudge throwers in particular, it can be an absolute nightmare. I'm going to throw into fast forward because there's no real reason to kind of wait. Watch this. Wurrzag is getting a little ahead of himself here. The enemy army's outside range of fireball. I actually have a lot of equipment on Wurrzag, which I didn't even realize going into this one. Effigy of the Gate should be useful for shutting down, say, Ungrim. Otherwise, I can use... Forget how much Overcast for the Gore costs. It's 28. That's like Winds of Death for the Vampire Counts. Very expensive. Obviously a very strong spell, but very expensive. But bolt throwers do have a fairly flat arc, so if I can... So if I can just kind of charge up to them, they won't really be able to engage. Right now I'm sitting just outside of their range. I'm going to start pushing my first row of Savage boys up. Follow up with the Air boys. I don't want Wurrzag getting destroyed. He is on a boar, so I don't want him just getting nuked down by enemy archer fire. I will try to swing these guys out onto the flank a little bit. Unfortunately, they do have Ungrim as their leader. Ungrim isn't as good as Sacred Brindle in a fight, but I don't actually know what they're being debuffed by there. I don't know if Wurrzag has some sort of AoE debuff. It looked like this. Wurrzag's revenge plus 50% miscast chance. Yeah, that's not doing much to those bolt throwers. Unfortunately, my guys are, of course, going to get a little tired probably here. There's some bolt thrower fire. Most of it, as you can see, is kind of missing. The arc's not particularly good. Orcs don't have the worst AP on their arrows, so while it's not amazing, they won't do terrible either. I have a lot of charge bonus on my cav and on Wurrzag, I think. So I can definitely charge around. The giant does have to be wary, I think, of Ungrim. I don't know how much defense stats he has. Actually, has really bad melee defense, so the giant should do okay with its armor piercing, but the Ungrim will dish out a lot of hurt in return. So at this point, I'm just kind of trying to push into these guys. Unfortunately, Savage Orcs, if their morale starts dropping, the Savage Orcs themselves will start doing pretty god-awful. A lot of their power lies in their psychological immunity that comes from Frenzy. And just Frenzy making him dish out a ridiculous amount of damage. Unfortunately, I'm already taking a fire over here, so I'm just going to push these guys in. As you can see, this really clumped up. This really clumped up kind of deployment is making it very hard for me to push in. And of course, the dwarves do have a lot of shooting. I will try to push the giant against Ungrim. Obviously, he is anti-large, but I think I should be okay. As you can see, already the Savage Orcs are wavering. They aren't the best melee combatants. I will try to shut down all this enemy ranged fire as quick as I can. I'm not entirely sure where Wurrzag went. I can drop Effigy of the Git to make sure some of these guys can't run away. Though actually, there's not really too much of a cluster for me to drop Foot of Gorkon. So instead, I'll try to do, here we go, on these guys over here, just to make this flank do a little better. Fist of Gork, I think augments just one, yeah, so I'll drop in these Savage Orcs over here. As you can see, some of my Savage Orcs are getting absolutely savaged, no pun intended there. They're doing pretty, I know, that was terrible, guys, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I'm not microing those guys. These guys are doing okay. The Savage Orcs don't have too much AP, but with here we go in there they'll do okay. And once obviously Ungrim is unbreakable, so he'll just keep fighting. But as you can see, the Giant does dish out a fair bit of damage to him. The fact that he's got a bonus for large doesn't help save him from the fact that his melee defense is pretty god awful. And he just got blasted with Ice Breath, which apparently does armor piercing and kills Ungrim. So I think that definitely you can see how much. Like, if I had auto-resolved this, I would have almost guaranteed gotten better results out of out of this match. Simply put, the orcs just struggle, or they don't have anywhere near as good of a setup as dwarves do for underway battles. If you do run, I think there are some exceptions. Say if you run black orcs, if you run chariots. And if you run a decent amount of your own artillery, then all those situations can make it possible to do okay in underway battles. Though obviously, if your opponent has, say something like Goblobber, they'll actually win the artillery fight very handily. Because Goblobber is not only really accurate, but it also... I'm not going to fight this one. I'll give these guys some leadership and hope not to lose them. This was basically what I was hoping for. I was hoping to intercept all these guys in the underway and deal with them that way. Yeah, it does sometimes use. I honestly don't think, like, honestly, a person probably wouldn't use underway there. They try to escape normally with just on foot. Unfortunately, I did get harsh, which is not good. But I'll live with it. I should be able to overcome it. I'll see who's the fool. I think I'm not entirely sure which of those would be better in this current situation. Unfortunately, this guy is kind of running around, being a pain in the ass. I think he might be in range of Crooked Fang Fort at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw Wurrzag over there so that if he tries to take Crooked Fang Fort and chase him from behind with Backstabber. Unfortunately, it looks like the Crooked Moon Mutinous gets... I'm proceeding the Carcassol, or the former Carcassol territories. Orcs still don't want to confederate. I'm probably going to have to end up confederating these guys by bashing their heads in. That's kind of the orc way of confederating, I guess. In the meantime, though, I will try to get some quick, cheap upgrades done. Gorgazon definitely needs to be upgraded. I could get a better dock here. I don't want to keep my Shaman tied down here for too long. So next turn, I should have enough money to get Angry Mindal up to tier 3, and then I'll take my Shaman back north. I need to take him up and. I just use my Shaman to deal with, or to do attack against one of the settlements over here, because he's my only hero right now. I'm losing a whole bunch of obedience everywhere at this stage, but it is stabilizing further down south. It's more so like here in the territories or the province I haven't completed. And I didn't invest in a happiness or obedience building in Spite Speak, so combined with the provincial instability and the fact that Wurrzag got struck by a really bad trait there. It just puts me in a somewhat rough spot. Once I hit tier 3, I'm going to be able to level my Savage Orc camp up to a Savage Orc host, and I'll be able to get a Goblin Workshop. Wurrzag did get a new trait, which lets me get Arcane Conduit. I'm not really going to invest in Wurrzag's melee. His melee is pretty lackluster, and I don't think it's... He is a mage, he's not the worst fighter, but I'm not really going to invest in them. I'm going to try to get Intimidating Presence. Maybe I'll try to invest in the bottom tree. It would be nice if I could get real Savage. He does have some pretty nifty Savage Orc stuff, which unfortunately needs that magic. I really do wish there was a Savage Orc War Boss hero, or Lord. I could do Intimidating Presence, that'll be 1.4, 7... 8, 11, and 14. Yeah, I'd have to invest most of my points into Savage Orcs if I really wanted to beef them up. I might do that, though, just to have a ridiculously powerful Savage Orc build. Unfortunately, that will mean I sacrifice Wallpath and Mob Boss, which are two things I really like, but I already have a built-in upkeep reduction. I also have to sacrifice Lightning Strike, I think, which is all rather unfortunate. But it would make my army rather potent, I think. It would be obviously it would be a Savage Orc oriented army with Wurrzag, probably all Savage Orcs. So I think that's it for this turn. Just gonna end it. My wall is going after Grumbrindle. I'm trying to cut him off. Unfortunately, he manages to underway away from me. I'm not actually sure where revolts spawn for if you don't control Karakate Peaks or Valia's Sorrow. I've obviously seen the revolts over here for Valia's Sorrow, and Karakate Peaks is like right here, that little sliver. But I'm not entirely sure where it spawns for Fang Forward and Gurkhas. Almost always fighting southward, so it's not never a problem for me. I'll move Wurrzag over into the Crooked Fang Forward, try to counteract all this anger and orc unhappiness. And I'll try to put a happiness building or boss. Actually, I can't do that because I need to get my get the most out of my shaman over here. So instead, I'm not going to upgrade. I don't know how well this guy has a lot of artillery. So if I catch Grumbrindle and run away, I think I should be okay. It would probably be about ideal. I don't want to fight him though on top of his garrison. That would make things a little rough. So if I can catch him in the underway, that would be ideal. Other than that, perhaps I wasn't gonna wait a turn with my shaman, but I might have to. Fortunately, I'm not able to get those upgrades. I'll throw up a heap of shiny stuff, I guess. Huh. No, I'm just gonna have to ditch Calabraz, not worry about leveling up right now. I'm gonna take this army north, or this shaman north, just to try to deal with the orc quest mission. And over here, I'll level up Crooked Fang Forward, try to get a little more income. Just every bit of income helps. Orcs don't have the strongest of home-based economies. It does look like this guy's actually given up on trying to escape. Not sure why. Could have just walked to Valia's Sorrow, I think. Oh, but I did get... Actually, that's perfect. I just got a big boss at Ekrund. The big boss is not an amazing hero by any stretch of the imagination, but fairly cheap to maintain, and it does get the various little assassination buffs, which can be rather nifty. I still can't actually afford a Savage Orc host, but I can afford a Goblin Tinker Adventure, so I'm going to go for. I'm going to keep my Shaman back here for a little bit longer, just to level things up. Unfortunately... Oh, actually it looks like I just got a Wah, and that's going to reinforce me if I attack from Brindle. Unfortunately, he does retreat. I'm not quite able to reach it with my... and if I fight him, he's going to be reinforced by his buddies over there. So I'm going to set my Wah's target to Valia's Sorrow, and I'm going to reinforce... I'm going to... because I don't think I can... Yeah, I'm not going to get Wah reinforcements if I go in. So I'm going to... Instead, I'll reinforce my Wah. I will... obviously, I'm not going to get the money out of it, but Blast... Well... That's a lot of artillery to deal with. I'm not going to go for that. I don't like the Savage Orc morale has serious issues on higher difficulties, so I don't want to get wrecked for that. I'll try and wait a turn. Well, actually, forget that. I'm just gonna leave and see where the revolt spawns. Try to deal with it that way. Valia's Sorrow should be mine this upcoming turn, and Grumbrindle should get wiped out. And when my Wah attacks Valia's Sorrow, this is actually no. It looks like Grumbrindle. That's actually a little strange. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. You have insufficient captives. I'm not even sure what to do. I'll just execute him because I don't want to lose fightiness. But Valia's Sorrow is now mine. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Oh, it looks like my Wah might have... Not actually sure what my Wah was doing. I don't know. Because Grumbrindle couldn't escape, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened. I do think I'm going to have to fight these ridiculous Savage Orcs who just spawned over here. I'm not entirely sure where the Revolt will spawn now. Or actually, it's not Savage Orcs, is it? I forgot. I thought it was the top knots over there doing the sieging, but it's Morglum and his gang. I can't. Orcs don't want to give me a confederation. I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna end up having to conquer everybody here. I can't actually. No, all he can do apparently is damage walls, which is kind of lackluster. Given that they don't have walls, I'll send. Well, no, I can't send. I'll go against Black Crag and try to damage their walls. In the meantime, I'm gonna have to save up for Savage Orc Warhosts. I'm gonna level up the Horde here and keep saving. And in the meantime, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure. I think if my wash should mop up any revolt if it spawns. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna underway over to Crooked Fang Fort. This way, at least I got some stuff covered when the revolt hits. I'm actually making okay amounts of income, so I'll start building fortifications here. I should have enough for a. And we'll see where the revolts. I honestly don't know where the revolt would spawn. I'll level up the boys over there. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where the revolt's gonna spawn, because the only province I know that spawns there. That's a little unfortunate. Because the only province I don't. You gotta figure the only province I don't control is Carrick 8 Peaks, which is the one where the revolts will obviously always spawn outside the capital. So, unfortunately, yeah, revolt. Well, that's okay. I had my army here, but sheer dumb luck. But that's okay. I'll settle for sheer dumb luck. I'm just gonna resolve this one. This is very one-sided. Gonna eat these guys. Basically, I just want to keep my fightiness up. And finish these guys off. I do like, well, I don't entirely enjoy the orc unit roster and whatnot. I definitely like the fact that the orcs do play a little bit like a horde faction or like a raiding faction. Just set the wall loose on what's his face, on Thorgrim over there. Not sure what this is. This is a whole bunch of goblins. It's a little unfortunate. Not entirely sure where my other wall went. 2 walls, right? I guess the other one might probably disbanded. And I'll be able to upgrade to Savage Orc Warhost here. Unfortunately, my Stone Mine is being controlled by the normal orcs. Lazaro is in a bit of a pickle there. I'll actually shift this army further north, just see if I can catch Thorgrim before he causes too much damage. I'll settle for dealing with Black. I'll go after Black Iron Mine, try to occupy that, and then see if I can confederate those guys. I could actually try to assassinate Thorgrim here, but that's almost no success chance. So instead of bothering with that, I'm just gonna rush straight. I want to get the Black Crag as quick as I can, and hit those walls. I'll deploy. It's nice to always deploy your hero at the end of every movement phase, whether or not he's in range of anything, just to get. I get some heaviest buildings there, just to get some just a little bit of XP. You do get a little bit of XP just for being deployed. So I would like to confederate the orcs, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull that off. Because they don't seem very friendly. Who would have guessed? Definitely looking forward to Norska coming out. It looks good. Yeah, this is an auto-resolve. They do have longers in there because it's a high-tier garrison. I do think Dwarves are some of the better garrisons in the game, though the miners are a bit iffy. Once again, I'm not entirely sure where the revolt will spawn. Fortunately, Spike's Peak does have fortifications. I'll underway over to Blast Sorrow, and I'll try to damage the walls on Black Crag, or should I go after Carrick 8 Peaks? I want to confederate these guys, or confederate Carrick 8 Peaks. I don't much care which one I do, though. Actually, I would like to confederate the orcs because I want to get Grimgore if I can, and Azag wouldn't be a bad thing either. Wouldn't be a bad pickup. A pile of shiny stuff here, and that over there. Wurrzag's leveled again, and now I really can do whatever I want. I'll do Intimidating Presence, I suppose, and go for talents over here, for Savages, for Brutal Lads. I should. The problem is that if you want all your magic, you definitely need to invest in everything up to Arcane Conduit, and then Splinter Plus kind of useful. It's just really hard to get. You definitely want Root Marcher. Like it's just hard to get everything that you. Well, Wurrzag's or lords are usually lord wizards are usually really, in my opinion, harder to equip the way you fully equip the way you want. I'll deploy here again. Get some fortifications going up and Warsen over there in Akral Mengadal and get Galbraz leveling and maybe build an extra boss's shack. I'm not entirely sure what my I got Squealy Beast, which is actually where do I have to deploy him? No, that's the wrong thing. Western Badlands, which is actually that was a big mistake on my part. I should have done that the moment I got him, but actually I'm not sure if it was up at the time, so it's okay. And now I got tech unlocked. Unfortunately, all these are pretty terrible upgrades. I'm not gonna lie. Compared to say Empire, they got awful. At least the orcs, unlike say Bretonnia, Bretonnia has pretty lackluster army tech, but they kind of and really bad general or lord upgrades for their armies. But at least in comparison, the greenskins get fairly solid general talents or traits, or whatever. Yeah, I'll take a little bit of Chaos Corruption. Usually those are worth it unless it's late game, and unfortunately the revolt spawned all the way on the wrong side of the map there. I'm gonna have to go shut that down. I'm not actually sure if either of these distances is longer. I'll just go there. I'm not sure I'll be able to save Spite Speak. They are being besieged. Maybe I will be. I'll see. I'm not sure how many annoying beastmen are in here. That's a lot. That's a lot of minotaurs, which I'm not too hyped about fighting. I'll level up the last sorrow. Slowly leveling over here. I'm not sure if there's anything much. Okay, I can level, I think, everything here, and that basically means this whole territory outside of Galbraz is completely maxed. I will try to damage the Karacapic walls. This is obviously going to make. I need 5,000 my treasure, which will be next turn. I need to make. I'll get spy so I can get assassin. Obviously, this is going to make these guys rather unhappy because just hero actions against them, but it's something I have to deal with just to get my quest done. Outside of that, though, I don't actually know what to do here. I'll probably just end turn, save up for my one quest. The quest for actually I can level up a bit of shiny stuff there, but the quests for Wurrzag are definitely useful. I don't know if I'd call them mandatory, but they're definitely very good. Thorgrim does try to run away here, and my wall won't be able to catch him, so he's just gonna be able to get away, which is a little frustrating. Definitely a bit of a nuisance. I'll probably set my wall loose on Iron Rock instead then. I don't really feel like chasing it. I don't want to like necessarily start a fight with the Beastmen right away. Obviously, it can be a good source of income. Shaman here in the Southern Badlands, and I need to deploy a War Boss in the Western Badlands. I'll set my WA target to Iron Rock, just try to get that under my occupation. Obviously, I probably won't be able to hold it at this stage of the game, but I might as well give it a shot. Apparently this army's in the last sorrow, which is a little unfortunate. Unfortunately for me, my now I'm being blocked off, and I'm probably going to lose Spite Speak here because these revolutionaries are just going to yellow it, and I don't have an extra layer of fortifications there. I got a whole bunch of money from all those upgrades. I do want to, as quick as I can, I'll want to level up. Well, I Actually, forget that. I need to level up. I need to deploy. I'll have to move this guy back just to do that silly mission. So I might as well drop that and get a discount. Get a stunty mine. I won't be able to get these guys before they take spite speed, but I'll be able to mop them up fairly quickly after that. I do want to get all the savage big guns and those units as quickly as I can. So, and I might just have to attack Carrick 8 Peaks. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do here, but I might just have to attack Carrick 8 Peaks because I want to solidify my hold on all the provinces. And now I gotta win the following battle, Baleful Mask. They do have Doom Divers and they get some reinforcements there, but this is actually a fairly easy battle, so I'll probably do it fairly shortly. I do want to wipe out these revolutionaries first, though. Not sure how close a match this would be. There's a lot of gobos in there. We can do this one. There's honestly not too much. Like, this is very one-sided. I'm just gonna rush them with my Savage Orcs. I'm just gonna auto-resolve this one. And apparently, I'm not entirely sure why. I'm not entirely sure why it works this way. I get to wipe them out. So next turn, I'll probably go for the quest battle for Wurrzag. Try to get that done. I could go for 7. I'll probably go for Brutal Lads. Just get melee attack up and charge bonus up. If you do wow, I'm completely blanking right now. If you do the campaign for Scarsnake, you get a lot of all the way over there. If you do the campaign for Scarsnake, you'll get a lot of you'll get a lot of goblin buffs. Wurrzag gets a lot of savage orc buffs. The problem is that Wurrzag, and this is kind of a problem with, in my opinion, with Clan Angren as well. Like, they have potential for like they have some, like, their lords will have a really cool upgrade. So for example, with Clan Angren, you can get absolutely ridiculously powerful rangers on let's see, I'm gonna upgrade the income here. But you can get ridiculously potent rangers on Belagar, Ironhammer. And if you do Wurrzag, you can get ridiculously strong Savage Orcs in his army. But unfortunately, like, while this is a theme for like the main lord, you don't have any lord addition. It's not like you can get a Savage Orc War Boss, or Belagar has some Belagar's Dwarf Lords get bonuses to Rangers. So instead of really having like a theme going for your armies, like all your armies, you're kind of stuck with one themed army and a bunch of generic armies. That's something I definitely like about Scarsnake, because he obviously has access to the Goblin War Boss, and the Goblin War Boss actually, I don't know what happened. I don't know if characters, they just sacked it, or if they broke the siege. Somehow that doesn't make sense. But I did get Iron Rock there. But that's definitely something that's cool about Scarsnake, and I wish Wurrzag was a little bit like that. 4 Night Goblins, that's dumb. I really don't like Night Goblin units, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue there. I'll set this wall on character 1, try to get control of it. Can't get a happiness building, so I might as well make some money. It would definitely be cool if, and I do wish if they do come back to do some more work on this. I don't know if this is being besieged. I'll swing north and see if it's still being besieged. It is. Okay, that's unfortunate. It would be cool if Wurrzag would get some unique, like, faction. Like, he'd get some unique lords or something. Obviously, the Goblin War Boss is something you can get even as orcs, normal orcs. You can get both Great Shamans, who actually have normal orc upgrades, or the Night Goblin War Boss, and they super buff your goblins. Like, you can get absolutely ridiculous upgrades on them. And for Scarsnake, that works amazing. And you can obviously Scarsnake himself has really strong upgrades for that, but Wurrzag doesn't get Savage Warlord or anything like that. This is a fairly weak force. I think I should be okay. It's not. I don't have the best of builds. I do wish I had big guns. Minus 5% upkeep isn't bad. This honestly isn't the best of. Honestly isn't the best, but. Yeah, I'll teleport there. Get some extra XP for Wurrzag. I'm not entirely sure why it's giving me such bad odds here. It really shouldn't be. This should be a pretty straightforward game. I'm not going to invest in there is, as you saw, the other quest is going to require me to own 4 Night Goblins. So probably once I march back to Ekrund or to the Western Badlands to get big guns and Savage Orc Boar Boy big guns. Once I go back to do those things, I'll probably drop. I'll probably take one turn to get some Night Goblins at first.
Don't talk to the green goods. I should know, because they told me. They don't like him. He smells right funny. He's got some crazy funk about him, all right. Go and kill the git and all his mates, and get my mask back off him. He nicked it, and I want it back.
I love Wurrzag. He is hilarious. I think there's a few heroes in this game who have some really funny speeches or whatever before battles. Wurrzag, I think, is one of them. Unfortunately, I got completely stiffed from the Winds of Magic department. But Wurrzag is definitely one of the funnier ones. Sigvald, if you have the Cows DLC, is absolutely hilarious. So, yeah, I'm probably just going to go straight up, do the Orky thing. I'll try to swing around the flanks here. Obviously just going to go full frontal attack here, and then try to loop around the back. That was really shoddily drawn, because I have the elevation. Oh well, you guys get the idea. Basically just going to rush forward. I could try to... The thing is that I started with a really low Winds of Magic. Here we go, if you get Wah, and I think Wurrzag does get the Wah somewhere. He does get it in... Well, I might be wrong. I'm not actually sure if he does get the Wah. He gets it in quick play, but or in custom games and quick match, but heroes do get some stuff they don't get in campaign there. I did take one hit from some Doom Divers. That's okay, though. It's not the end of the world. I'm gonna try to sneak up this ridge. There's a lot of goblins up there. There will be reinforcements. I have done this battle before, I think, when a friend was doing Wurrzag. So it certainly isn't the first time I'm doing this, but you always learn something new. I could definitely try to fireball some of these guys. I'll fireball the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. If I can get them to... It'll do some damage. 4 kills, definitely not bad. They are shooting back at me with the Goblin Wolf Riders. Not too concerned about that. I wonder if that's a Shaman. It is a Shaman, so easy kill. It does look like my... Yeah. The Boar Boys will do really well against the Forest Spiders. There's very little those guys can do. Now my Giant's already in the mix here. My Savage Orcs are kind of just pushing up the hill. We're going to go crush these Goblins. Unfortunately, Wurrzag is getting shot up pretty bad. He doesn't have much armor, I suppose. I will try to do... Let's see, I'll take these 2 units and then pull them back. Screen my rear. Actually, I don't know why this unit's all the way back here. Definitely going to move these guys back, though. I'm not entirely sure what's going on this flank. This flank seems to be doing A-okay. Unfortunately, my opponent did kind of pull the Savage Orc Boar Boys back. Now, let's see. I'm going to cast... Here we go. Just try to clear this stuff out. Actually, I should probably try to cast it over here. Unfortunately... Oh, no. There's not really much for my spells to do here, unfortunately. Obviously, they have all those goblin, all these goblin wolf riders. I'm not really doing much with these guys either. I'll try to push them forward a little bit. There's a lot of guys camped up on the hill, just kind of sitting around, doing very little. I'll try to get these guys on them. It's just a bit of a mess. Just gotta trust the Savage Orcs will do their thing. I should have popped these abilities a while ago. I will drop effigy of the Git on those guys, more because I don't really feel like dealing with them at the moment. Obviously, Savage Orcs will do incredibly well against, say, Gobbo Wolf Riders, even with cycle charging or any fancy. Although these guys are broken, the rest of them are dead, practically dead. I'm gonna push the giant into their back. The giant does cause terror. I gotta get the boar boys moving. There's a handful of night goblins. Night goblins do cause poison damage, so that can be a bit of pain. But Wurrzag over here doing work. I could, I guess, cast Fists of Gork. Or here we go. Doesn't really matter. There's very little. Like I said, the damage output is fairly ridiculous on the Savage Orcs as is. I'm not entirely sure what these guys were doing. Probably pathfinding. One of the pathfinding issues. It does look like I'm taking. I guess they did have. I did forget that they get a unit of Doom Divers on the field. That was. Oh well. They're not going to do too much. I'm going to try pushing on these guys. It does look like I've finally... Actually, I haven't really run down much of anything, but the wizard's there, I guess. I'm not sure why these guys aren't shooting. Oh, never mind. I told them to attack a different target. I think my opponent's army is just... Or, well, my AI opponent's army is just shattering at this point. They do have... Is this 2 units of Doom Divers? Yeah, so... Gotta go shut those down. Everything's shattering. I'm not entirely sure why the Doom Divers still haven't shattered. If there's a campaign reason for that. I'll throw this into fast forward though. It might be because they're from a different army than the Wolf Riders. Unfortunately, this is even with fast forward. This is taking forever because they're just so far away. And all my guys are probably fairly tired at this point. Definitely winded. And then the charge goes in. You can see the glorious Savage Orcs destroying some grobby scum. My inner dwarfism showing, or my inner dwarf love showing there. Inner Daoism. So yeah. Yeah, very one-sided. That's just kind of YOLO across. It's just tedious battle because they all start so far away from you. You do get the Baleful Mask, which is not bad. Actually, ironically, the one guy who took a lot of damage was Wurrzag there. Probably because he was the first guy in melee because he was the only guy on a whole mount besides my boar boys. So that's probably why. So yeah, gonna eat these guys. And just to replenish a little bit, and that gives me the Baleful Mask and some bonus XP. Vindictive Glare, that's cool. That means Wurrzag's gonna have a ridiculous amount of abilities at this point. Give me another level on him, that's not bad. I'll give him Brutal Lads, I suppose. Yeah, so Baleful Mask is done. Next step is the Squiggly Beast. For that, I do need the 4 Night Goblins. At this stage of the end, then of course, yeah, so I need 4 Night Goblins. I've got definitely dropping happiness there. I'll try to build a I don't know, I do wish I could ferret some of these guys. Yeah, I don't know. At this point, it's that's basically it for this turn. I'll upgrade some stuff in Galbraz, get some extra fortifications. Eventually, of course, the Bjornlings do come through the south. I never realized that initially when I first started playing dwarves, and then later some greenskins. But yeah, you get an invasion from the south from one of the chaos tribes, so the Bjornlings. So it's good to be fortified against that. I will throw up a Savage Orc gathering here, just so that I can recruit stuff. Other than that, I think, yeah, the obedience is solid. Commandments, yeah, I'm not getting anything out of the wizard. I'll start moving him back to rejoin the army. This guy I think I deployed last turn, okay. I can't really leave last, so what I'm probably going to do, because Carrick APs, those guys don't want to, I'm not entirely sure if these guys are, they do have defensive lines with the Apex boys, so if I go into a war against the Crooked Moon Mutinous, I'm going to end up in a war with, I'm going to end up with a war against the Greenskins as well, which I'm not too pleased about, but that is what it is. So yeah, I'll see what happens. Raid region belonging to Clan Angrund or the dwarves, which are giving me more. That's really weak diplomatic relations, though. Like, I can do that and try to see if they get out. Like, this is literally those guys' territory, so I can try to raid it here, even though I'm obviously not making any money. Try to fortify. I do need to get all these buildings just to improve my happiness. I'll move the shaman over to the east just to start leveling things up over there. Ekrund is growing fairly quickly, so I should be able to get a Wurrzag's Fort fairly soon. Not that it gives me too much, because I already have a Savage Orc Boarboy Big Guns, Savage Orc Big Guns unlocked. And I'll take this army. Probably, I'll go try to do some assassinating. Walls almost got character drone done. The dwarves are just coming back. I might lose Iron Rock, but I'm okay with that. I kind of expected that I might. And I'm just using my wad to kind of cripple and hold back the dwarves. So yeah, looks like I got some benefits there. So I could definitely attack Morglum here. I'll see if I can confederate him. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to. These guys have not been willing. It's because they're not losing. AI usually asks to confederate after they've suffered some disastrous defeats, and that simply has not been happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack up on. I'm gonna have to. Well, I can try to confederate the greenskins, but that's even less likely. I wanted Grimgore, but I don't plan to hold myself back simply because I'm waiting for, you know, AI to do something for AI to do what I want. So I'm gonna declare war on the Crooked Moon Mutinous Kids. Obviously, they have these friends, which is unfortunate. I have the law to support me. Oh well. Those guys do retreat. I'll just auto-resolve the siege there. Not going to waste too much time. I do believe that there's a new map. I could have actually showcased that map there, because this is the new Carcassonne map. But I did get the new Carcassonne map for one of the map packs that I've got on GCCM mod. I can put it down in the description below. Gonna put Wurrzag's dishes down. Gonna get a shaman leveling things up over here. I'm gonna go probably try to block these guys. I'm gonna do that and try to get Elias Sorrow leveled up, I suppose. Well, it's not gonna. I did get a successful block. Just gonna try to get a heap of shiny stuff there. I suppose I leveled, which gives me assassin. I don't necessarily want to assassinate anybody because they can just replace their lord and move out from there. I don't think I'm gonna get any more confederations, unfortunately for me. Definitely gonna go for Savage Orc camp over there. And yeah, I got new tech unlocked. I can get extra leadership. I'll get actually Orc Poor Boy upgrades. That not the worst thing in the world, and most of these upgrades are pretty useless. The only one that's I think is good, really, are a handful of the artillery ones, and the enormous loot cart. So yeah, I can now get. Apparently, oh yeah, I can get a new commandment. So I think I'm gonna end this turn, and after that, I do believe I will be saving with the next episode, having me storm the Crooked Moon Mutinous Skits. I do get an underway interception here on Morglum, but I'm not going to try to fight this. Savage Orc Big Guns will beat up on Savage Orcs even with the crazy charge bonus, especially when they have this many units. They outnumber you pretty badly. If it had been, say, Wurrzag's army that intercepted them, I would have definitely given it a shot. But, yeah.
Grave news, my lord. Word is spreading up. Prepare your defenses.
Now, unfortunately, here comes this is the initial Chaos Onslaught, so this isn't too much of a problem. Definitely glad I have that Goblin Big Boss, though, because it means I can, oh, damage roll success. Oops. Tragic. This means there's going to be Chaos lackeys running around. There shouldn't be too many of them, at least at this stage, but they can definitely be a pain, so I'm going to try to shut them down with the Goblin Boss. In the meantime, of course, Crooked Moon, Mutinous Gits are being a pain. I'm going to underway tunnel there with the Wurrzag because I don't mind being intercepted. I won't be able to do that with the reinforcing army because I don't want to risk being intercepted by my opponent. I'm just going to march to here and then I'll encamp next turn to recover. Characters will, unfortunately, the happiness there is dropping fairly quickly, but I do not have fortifications everywhere, and if there's a revolt, it will happen at Characters will. So I can level that up. I'm not going to invest in Velias Sarges yet, because once again, I'm not sure if I'll be losing that soon, and I very well might. Going to try to get more fortifications. Like I said, once the main Chaos Invasion hits, there's going to be Dornlings coming in, so that's that sort of stuff, which is just annoying. Unfortunately, I still haven't really gotten to level up. My Waz kind of roaming around. I guess I could set him on Black Crag. I'll actually set him on Necrotic 8 Peaks. If I can get some help there. It does look like the dwarves are going to come out. I'm okay with the dwarves retaking all their territory there. It's mostly just there to distract them, to cripple their economy a bit. Set them back. I'm satisfied with not getting that just yet. But I'm not sure what the Crooked Mutinous Gits are going to do. It looks like they're just planning to bunker down in their little fortress. They can harass Black Iron Mine. I don't have too many turns to besiege them because I'm having issues, and I'm over here. Volt, Fang Fort. So I might have to deal with some revolutionaries and shenanigans like that. But I'll start building siege towers. Continue siege. And I'll move this army up to reinforce. And I should be able to get my wall in there. As well as my Goblin War Boss. Actually, I want to assassinate these. Actually, I get the Chaos guy. I'll leave him and I'll try to get the boss back over there. Unfortunately, there is this. You know what? I'll actually try to shut this to. Unfortunately, that guy. Unfortunately, my Lord options are kind of bad right now. I'll just get a Night Goblin Shaman or a Night Goblin Lord. And provide him with some units. Let's see. I don't need too many. This is only an 8 stack, so if I can get just a handful of Savage Orcs and some Regiments of Renown, like that, I should be okay. Just for holding that against the Revolutionaries. I'll end turn. I think I'll go to till I have control Carrick 8 peaks, which should be fairly shortly. I'm not gonna fight this dwarf attack because I'm just gonna lose it. There's no way. Like, they could probably take this with like half this. I don't know, it's like a quarter of this stack. They'll retake Iron Rock. So be it. Not the end of the world. Not a tragedy. Hopefully my wall underweighed to me. I don't know if they did. I'm starting to have more and more of an empire to manage, which is a little frustrating. I got a revolt in Death Pass. It doesn't matter because I didn't really fortify any of that. I do think I got everybody reinforcing me now, so I can actually. I'm not sure if Carrick 8 Peaks gets a unique map. If there's a unique map, I'll fight this one for sure. Unfortunately, I don't think it does. I think this is just a generic map. That's unfortunate. Yeah. This is going to be fairly attrition, so I'll just auto-resolve it. I'll throw these. I should put the banner on, but oh well. And I can now loot and occupy Carrick 8 Peaks, which will definitely. I should have put my war boss in there just to level them up a little bit. That gives me the Crimson Killers and Bros for Contested Mob. That means I'm only missing one unit at this point, or one Regiment of Renown to unlock. Actually, I don't think I'll underway tunnel just yet. I'll take these guys to Vlad Sorrow. I'll set my wall loose on these guys to try to hunt them down. And now I control this province, which is good. Carrick Azul's happiness is tanking, but yeah. Technically control this province. I will definitely be picking up. Obviously, I'm not done with this turn. I'll pick up and continue with the turn at on the next episode. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you like these videos, feel free to hit like or subscribe down below. If you have any comments, criticism, questions you'd like to ask, do feel free to post those in the comments. I will be sure to respond as soon as I can. I appreciate you all for watching, and Wyvern out.